Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. So with only 6 characters remaining that we haven't done yet, I'm just doing the last 6 in order, and next up we have the Vampire. That's also, incidentally, the last one we need to make the whole screen gold, so that's kind of fun. Vampire is a character that I find much more difficult than it looks like at first glance. The lower HP modifications are really bad on Abyssal Terrors, and having to take damage and not being able to heal with regeneration is pretty painful as well. So there's a lot of weapons here that don't synergize with the character, and that could be a pretty difficult run. Let's roll, see what we get, and we'll plan accordingly. Torch is not what I was hoping for. The primitive weapon tag is pretty nice, and I have been generally much more impressed with Torch on it during this series than I was expecting to be. But it certainly doesn't work very well with the lifesteal that the Vampire needs to use to heal, because of course you can't lifesteal with burning damage. So there's some upsides in that it will make it easier to get max HP, which is the main challenge for this character, but definitely some real downsides as well. Let's roll, and I'll roll again, looking for harvesting. I could just take 1 elemental damage, of course that will help with our torches, or I could take 5 attack speed, that helps with our lifesteal, 5 luck for economy, roll again for harvesting. All of those are interesting options. I think this character will want to roll for harvesting. We missed, but I'll just take 3 max HP here. Torch is a pretty cheap weapon, so we should be able to upgrade it without having to save a lot of money. We'll lock both of these items, and then I'll keep rolling to try to find another torch. 1 more roll to see if we can buy one this wave. Unfortunately, we missed, but we did manage to lock another one. So, running a little below par on not finding any harvesting and not finding 4 torches, which is the number you'd usually expect to find, but we can recover from that. The main downside of this build for this character, of course, is that normally with an elemental build almost certainly cannot stop you from taking hits. And normally with a melee build like torches, you want to use regeneration rather than lifesteal to keep yourself alive so that you can heal while you're running away from stuff. If you're running away from, for example, an elite. This build can't do that because we're just gonna be taking damage constantly. We don't kill stuff that's in melee with us, and as the Vampire, we're forced to take hits from enemies and can't use passive regeneration. So there's a lot of anti-synergy here. Also, we haven't found a single torch. Come on, game. Alright, well that's very bad. Rolling 6 or 7 times without a single torch is definitely not what you want to see when you're playing this character. Torch definitely needs to level up as well because it gains additional damage scaling as you level it, so not finding that is very painful. And of course it's an elemental weapon, so it increases its own damage. It's a primitive weapon, so it's really important to level it for HP. I'm taking hits on purpose here, of course, to increase our damage output. So we're definitely behind in economy, and we're behind in weapons. Kind of have to reroll to find harvesting still. We'll take that. I'll buy these 2 items, and then we'll roll looking for torches. Broken Mouth we have to buy, because you have to buy all the max HP you can find. Alright, the level 2 torch definitely helps make up for missing torches earlier, because at least we'll still have some decent weapon levels. We'll still be behind, but we can recover. Normally, it's not the Vampire that has the torch. Normally, it's the villagers attacking the Vampire that have the torches. So we're really performing a role reversal here. Again, taking these hits on purpose because we want to play at low health to boost our damage when we're playing the Vampire. Torch's knockback also does make it a little harder to take the hits that we want to take. But at least we made pretty good money that wave. Here I'm just going to take 10% more attack speed, and then we'll pick up 8 harvesting. So definitely some advantages here. We got a lot stronger over the last couple waves. We'll take the Broken Mouth, and then we'll roll here. I will keep upgrading our torches. I'll take the wheelbarrow as well, because I do need more harvesting. Our goal is to get all of our torches to level 2, because that just increases our damage scaling with them pretty effectively. And then get one of them to level 4, because that's the best for burn damage. Do I want a bat? Bat We of course get lifesteal as we lose health on the vampire, but we need more healing than that. But generally what we're going to want is healing that doesn't involve purchasing lifesteal and actually hitting enemies to heal. We want to find things like Cute Monkey or Medical Turret or Adrenaline, ways to heal like that aren't turned off by the vampire's abilities, but then also don't involve us having to actually run towards enemies in order to heal. Because the main challenge for this character is going to be just not dying to the elite, and that's going to be based on how much damage we take and how fast we can heal the damage, depending on what elite we get, especially, because there's some that are really dangerous for this character. Again, taking hits here and just trying to make as much money as we can, and we'll take 8 more harvesting and then a wheelbarrow. That's great, because our economy is starting to suffer from our slow clear speed. Getting all of that early harvesting is going to help a lot. We'll pick up the coupon here, and then I'll roll one more time. And I'll take a defective steroids. Again, I want as much max HP as I can, and Torch does scale with melee damage, so buying melee damage is still pretty good. As I've said before, I will say that Torch has impressed me much more than I was expecting it to. Throughout this series. I have thought of it as a very weak weapon for a very long time, and it's generally been a lot better since the buffs than I was expecting it to be. The damage scaling is fine, and the fact that it's a large swing does give it a bit of an advantage over a bunch of other weapons, because it applies the fire in a decent radius. The downside, of course, is that it doesn't apply the fire far away, so you probably take damage. Do I want more harvesting here, or do I want to start repairing my armor right away? I think I'll take one more harvesting upgrade. I don't really need to build dodge, I don't think, and I don't care that much about 3% lifesteal, so I'm going to reroll this, and this is really interesting. 8% damage to try to offset our percent damage penalty. Of course, with the vampire, you can just buy damage and fix this penalty and not have to take hits, or I could build elemental damage. I think I'm just going to take percent damage. It just makes it much easier to play. Take defective steroids. I'm going to pass on Cauldron. We don't heal from picking up consumables, so pickup radius is a lot less interesting for this character, and it's just an item that doesn't do that much for us. But I will take Metal Detector because I need more economy, and we'll, of course, upgrade our Torch. And Goat Skull is good as well, just melee damage for our weapons. Whistle we will also lock. So I want to get to, I don't know, 60, 70 max HP pretty quickly, if I can, because this character is going to struggle not to take hits and can't heal easily, so we kind of have to buy a lot of max HP. Got the Cursed Healer here, and healing aliens, of course, are the bane of elemental damage builds, because you do all your damage slowly over time, and they repair damage to enemies slowly over time. Actually, quite rapidly over time. So you need to kill those healers as quickly as possible when you see them on the waves where they show up, in order for your fire damage to do anything. That is one of the downsides of the high knockback of torches, is that it's really hard to focus important individual enemies like that. And so you can end up having them survive for much longer than they would otherwise. If we weren't an elemental build, we would take the butterfly, but we are, so we have to recycle it. And do I want move speed, dodge, harvesting, or to reroll? I'm actually just going to take more harvesting. I think if I buy enough harvesting, I can just build pure defense and not have to worry about actually killing enemies, and that will be really nice for us. Wings, I don't think I can afford to take, but I'll take the fuel tank. Because losing 2 elemental damage is too bad here. Blood donation, we definitely don't want for this character. Pearl, because it's impossible to get passive healing, so the blood donation is just too dangerous. You have to lifesteal to repair your health, and that just becomes too risky too quickly. Clockwork Wasp and Baby Elephant and Pearl, all of these are really situational items, so we're going to pass on all of them, I think. Spyglass will take too long to pay off. Landmines, if I had a scared sausage, I could take the landmines. And I think I will pick them up anyways for 30, because scared sausage is an item that we would buy, of course. And they will help a little bit with wave clear, even though For only 30 materials, it's fine. We probably won't make the 30 back on them anytime soon, but the landmines give us an out to another type of build. If we can end up as kind of an engineering elemental hybrid build, then we'll be glad to have them. So those I definitely do want. I wish we could have taken the blood donation, but it's just too risky on the vampire because you just have to be constantly life-stealing. It makes it so hard to maintain your max HP at a reasonable level. With a melee weapon especially. A slow-attacking melee weapon at that. I will say, I am not a huge fan of the design of this character in general. I feel like it doesn't feel vampiric to me, so it kind of fails the first test. And then also, I just think that the Masochist does its job better. The character that wants to, like, take damage to play at low health. The Vampire feels like it's trying to do too many things at once. I think it was a little more successful in the beta, but just too hard. So they buffed it, and by doing so, kind of eroded the character's identity. I'll take the attack speed here. Obviously, we wanted to repair our armor, and then more attack speed is going to be good. We'll take a broken mouth. That's great. Corrupted shard. Good. Cursed pencil, I'm going to grab just for the curse, and then I will take elemental damage. Lowering our knockback, also not something that we're upset about either. Here, alien eyes, we don't have a scared sausage. If I had one, maybe I'd take those, but a leveled up torch is great, as is a coffee. Let me pick up the torch here, lock the coffee, and I could do one more reroll to try to lock another torch, but for 18, I think we're just going to go to the next wave. I'm playing at about half HP a lot of the time on this character. I think we can get away with lower... So normally I suggest trying to stay around 2/3 of your health on the vampire, but because we're a primitive weapon, we can play at lower HP and still have, like, 16 HP in total or so. And that gives us one hit before we die. One thing about this character is that as you lower your health, you also gain armor. So the first damage instance is going to be really high, and then later damage instances won't be as high. So it can be easy to panic, but you still have 1 or 2 hits before you die. Because you just gained a lot of armor. That also can backfire, though, if you try to rely solely on the armor you gain as your health gets low. You really do want to buy armor to start with, because otherwise, if you take like a huge hit, like a 30 damage hit from an elite, you can still, despite all the armor you just gained, be 1 hit from death. Another coffee, great. Here, I could take more harvesting even, but I think I'm just going to take more % damage. And then let's reroll. Take some move speed, because I have none, and I do want more move speed. We'll take a coffee. I'll take the ritual here as well. It's not the most efficient, but lifesteal is pretty good for the character. It's our healing method. We don't care that much about losing engineering, and the 6% damage helps us not have to play it as low of HP. Definitely a fish hook, always a great item, and... Wow, what a shop. Can I buy all of this? I think I can, right? So I'm going to buy the entire shop here. And then we get 2 free rerolls to find good stuff to lock with Fishhook. Obviously not taking Celery Tea, going into an Elite Wave. And then I'll lock a Beanie. Would I buy a Cursed Feather? I probably would buy a Cursed Feather, so I'm going to lock it for the Fishhook as well. One thing that we haven't found any of is a way to heal that isn't lifesteal based, which is going to make the Elite Wave very challenging, because we're going to have to either not take hits, which of course is sometimes beyond my dodging prowess, or heal back up the hits that we take by attacking enemies, which can mean taking more hits. We also are not a build that can kill elites, because we're elemental, and with the slow damage over time and kind of maximum damage per second that elemental builds do, you just never have the single target DPS to kill elites. So this character is going to really struggle in these elite waves. Oh, I also need to not just die. Speaking of struggling, need to keep my HP high enough that we don't just die immediately. So the item that we would want the most would be Cute Monkey. That's a great way to heal for this character. Something like a medical turret would have been awesome as well. Killing that loot alien would have been great. Improved tools, that's pretty nice. We don't have any healing currently, any constructs currently, but I guess we have the landmines, but if we get a couple more, those will be good. Nothing got cursed, of course, but I'll take all these items, those 2 items. I'm not going to buy the feather when it's not cursed. Nail does give us more damage scaling on our weapons. We have 4 engineering already. I could try to get it cursed, but it's still not that high a chance. I think I'm going to buy the nail here, because again, we could end up... We have improved tools and nail now, so we could actually get quite a lot of value out of being an engineering sub-theme. I'll take the power generator. Again, just we can play at higher health when we have that, and then we'll roll here, and we're going to combine to a level 4 torch for the maximum single target damage. Would have loved to get this cute monkey before we fight the elite, but if we survive, then we will be very happy to have it. So, feeling like we just need to make it out of this wave. This is not the elite that I wanted to see. This one's very difficult for a character like this. Holding still is tough on elemental builds, and you have to do that to dodge this elite's attacks, because you're not killing enemies that you're hitting. So holding still can put you in a lot of danger of just getting hit again. Oh, the goblin sharks are getting me. These groupings of 3 attacks are a lot easier to deal with than the attacks on the ground. I just had to run along that one and unfortunately took a hit as a result of that. We're not going to make any money this wave because we're just trying to survive, but that's okay. We just need to make it out of the elite wave intact. The elite was very kind there and is firing the projectiles not even close to us. It tries to predict your movements a little bit, but it can get screwed up when you are moving sideways. So we did make it out of that elite wave without dying, so very happy about that. Let's re-roll here, and I'll just take 3 more armor. Again, we just want as much defensive capability as possible. Cute monkey, awesome. Toxic sludge, great. We'll take a broken mouth as well. Still passing on the feather. We'll upgrade our torch here. Yep, more HP, perfect. And then we'll roll. Take another dangerous bunny. Duct tape is great. And Ugly Tooth, this can help a lot with elemental builds, because slowing enemies just means that they die before they get back to you. So now I have to pick up a lot of materials this wave. I'm actually, like, reevaluating Torch again, because Vampire is a really tough character, and it does not synergize with this weapon at all, but we're actually doing quite well. Just with the torches. This run certainly isn't over or anything, but the torches are doing really nicely for us. So I'm actually starting to think Torch might be like an A tier weapon. All of my Torch runs so far this series have just gone great. And some of them are with really tough characters and characters that don't work with the weapon at all. So starting to think that after the buff, this weapon is just actually very good. 500 materials that wave, that's awesome. We're going to take the compass here, definitely want more move speed, and again, the engineering thing could help. I will take the feather now for only 12 materials, because we could build dodge. One way that we could end up getting a lot of value from healing is if we get adrenaline later on, especially if we happen to get it cursed. And so having some dodge to support that possibility would be really nice. We can't use Tentacle with this character because we're never killing enemies with critical hits, and that's another good way to heal for the vampire. Take another coupon here, and Wisdom is really good. Cursed Wisdom would also be even better, but I think I'm just going to buy the Wisdom here because all of our damage is slow and over time anyways, so just stacking it up over time is still really nice. And then we'll take an energy bracelet, metal plate, baby gecko. Yeah, I'm just going to lock all of these. Any of those that get cursed, we're happy with. Gonna drink some water. I've also managed to boost my percent damage quite a lot, so we don't have to play at as low HP as we would otherwise in order to actually do damage. And that's when the vampire's abilities start to become more of an advantage than a disadvantage. Once you get your percent damage back to like sort of minus 20% or so, then you've just got a bunch of free armor, lifesteal, and damage whenever you take hits. And are otherwise playing a mostly normal character, but with lower health. So if we can get to that point where our percent damage is good and we've got enough HP, already at 48, I'm feeling fine, though normally we would have better healing methods than trying to lifesteal with our torches. But the primitive weapon tag really goes a long way for these health-starved characters. Yeah, I'm going to take attack speed over HP here, because just more attack speed is good. Wow, the fish hook went off. That's only one fish hook, and it's only a 20% chance. So we got 3 out of 4 20% chances. That's awesome. Metal plate, great. We have 15 armor, which is amazing for the vampire, and then we get more armor as we lose health. So if we are down to only 5% of our HP, we will have a grand total of 34 armor, right? Which is a lot of armor. We'll still die in one hit at that point, but that would be fun. Take the baby gecko, banner, and energy bracelet, and then roll. Lock this torch. A cursed torch would be great. Medical turret cursed would be amazing. Injection, I'm going to lock and see if we get it cursed. I might not buy it if it's not. Do I reroll here? So I have a free reroll, so I could try to lock the cog and get that cursed. Actually, if I get the cog cursed, it probably gives me 7 engineering, which would mean that the medical turret will have 20 engineering and hit the breakpoint of healing for 4 HP instead of 3. So I think that the value of getting the cog cursed is high enough that I'll take it, or I'll try for it. Got to survive this horde wave first, but horde wave should be at least a little bit easier, especially because we have now a cute monkey and a couple baby geckos, so we're healing as we kill enemies. Even if those enemies die further away from us, then we still get some HP value out of them, which is really important, because you don't want to be limited to healing only off the enemies you're actively attacking, since those are the ones that are dangerous to you. I'm going to take a couple hits here in the middle of the wave just to make sure that we're actually setting everything on fire and getting good wave clear. But with 10 seconds remaining, yeah, I'm starting to take too many hits, so I need to back off a little bit and just heal back up. Of course, as I lose HP, my lifesteal does increase, so we get a little more value from healing. And we left a lot of money on the ground, but still healed a bunch. I'm recycling sunglasses, of course. I'm going to roll here. I had 1% dodge, and I did get a percent dodge there, so that was pretty funny. Roll again, and I'm just going to take 2 more lifesteal just to try to stay at full health. So the plan worked perfectly. We got the 7 engineering, so this is going to put us to 20, and now we heal for 4 off the medical turret. That does mean I don't want to buy stuff that decreases my engineering at all, unless we find more engineering increases, but 4 is such a higher percentage of our health than 3. That makes the medical turret wildly better. We also have improved tools, so it attacks really fast. Injection didn't get cursed. Do I still want the percent damage? I probably do. Percent damage is just so good for this character. Then we'll upgrade our cursed torch to level 4. I will buy the duct tape and I'll lock this torch. Another cursed torch would be awesome. I'm going to roll here. And small fish, I'm going to pass on. Roll again. Another cursed torch and maybe a cursed medical turret would be amazing. Take our free reroll and then go to the next wave. So now if I need to heal, I can just run over here and we get 4 HP. The medical turret just gives us a bunch of health back, which is really nice. Now, we still would prefer passive healing, so more cute monkeys is the main thing. Especially because we don't have the dodge to support adrenaline, we don't have the crit chance or ability to kill enemies with criticals to support tentacle. So cute monkey is probably the best, but 2 medical turrets is going to be a lot of healing on the map for this character, so we're pretty happy with that. We try to pick up enough materials that we aren't carrying over doubled materials from wave to wave, because that's when you start really losing money. Yeah, honestly, Torch Vampire feels really good. This might be the most tolerable way to play this character, which, as I said before, I kind of dislike the Vampire. I'm going to take the elemental damage here, because of course it affects the burning damage as well. So even though we could get more damage for our actual attacks, elemental damage will be better. Got the Cursed Torch, awesome. So we'll take that, and we will combine here and buy the level 1. I'll just take the medical turret. Do I want gambling token? At the cost of an armor, we could get some dodge. Our dodge is quite low, but we could start building it. We're about to hit level 20, so we get a level 3 upgrade. So if I find a level 9, a 9-point dodge upgrade, that actually gets us to 18 dodge right away. So I think I will buy the gambling token for that reason. Mouse is more lifesteal, more enemies to lifesteal off of. That's perfect. The wheelbarrow we don't want at this point. Rip and tear I also don't really want. Turret, I do have actually quite a lot of engineering, so I'll take the turret. It could help out, and then we'll lock the fin and the torch because we could get it cursed. Free reroll, so I should use this and see if there's anything up there that we can lock for profit. It's funny that the cursed torches go out. You can see the non-cursed ones have the fire at the end, and the cursed ones just have the purple torch glow. I guess they're some kind of evil dark fire. Having both medical turrets spawn in the same place is actually really nice for us, because if we ever need health, we can just run back over here and we get 8 healing every time they fire, which is amazing. I'm going to try to get a few more Curse Alien kills. It's not something that I'm that worried about for this character, because we have a fishhook, so actually buying Curse is a lot less important than just using our fishhook to curse things. But, of course, the more curse we get, buying or, finding curse. Of course, the more curse we get, the better. I will lose HP and armor for the jetpack, because 10% dodge is a lot, 15% speed is a lot, so we're pretty happy with that. And then, do I want 3 armor or 9 HP? I think I still just want the armor. The fin got cursed, so I'm actually up to 50% movement speed. I did kind of forget I had a fin locked when I bought the jetpack. But I'll still go up to 50% movement speed, 6 lifesteal, 5 curse. It's all great for us. Still buying both of these, even though neither of them got fish hooked. The weird ghost I am not going to take. Alien worm is just, I guess 2.25 max HP, because of course the consumable heal loss doesn't matter. The HP regen doesn't matter. So both cake and alien, like alien worm's just strictly better than cake, for example, and I will take it. Probably buy the cake as well, but not the weird ghost. And I'll lock the lure, we'll lock boiling water, any of those that get cursed. Great. Hedgehog, sure. If it gets cursed, I'll also buy that. On to wave 17. I'm so fast now. Having a lot of movement speed is really nice for an elemental build, because I can hit enemies and then just run away from them, and just kind of let them tick out to the burning damage. I do need to kill these healers, though. Yeah, you can see how fast we heal back up when I take hits because of the double medical turret, so as long as I play around these, we're pretty safe. And that will make the elite next wave a lot more doable, because we have a consistent way to heal that we can use when we are running away from the elite. And because we have this much move speed, I can actually pull the elite to the other side of the map first and then come back to my medical turrets. Often medical turret against elites can run into the problem where it just camps you, and then you can't use your turret healing because you're just taking too many hits, because the elite is preventing you from doing so. But with this much move speed, we can play back and forth across the map and take full advantage of our medical turrets, hopefully. Take the Broken Mouth for more HP. Minus 13% enemy speed. That's actually great on the snail, so very happy there. Let's reroll here, and yep, just more armor. The more armor we get, the better. 5 regen, unfortunately, doesn't do anything, but I'll take the extra loot aliens next wave regardless. We'll buy all of these items. Upgrade our Cursed Torch. Take a charcoal. That's great. We'll roll here. I don't need any more move speed or the wheelbarrow, so I'll reroll another cute monkey. That's awesome going into the elite wave. We're very happy with that. Riposte. I do have 19% dodge, so I could lock the riposte. I'm going to roll here, and toolbox, small magazine. I guess either of those cursed I would buy, so I might as well lock them. I actually don't know. Maybe we can kill the elite. Let's test our damage against it. No, definitely not. So I'm not even gonna mess with it. Just gonna try to stay alive. It's so tough to get your damage to the point where you kill elites on an elemental build. So better to just play it safe. This is the hardest elite for this character because, of course, it puts a lot. I guess the second hardest because it puts a lot of projectiles on the field. But once it goes into its second stage, it's a lot easier. You can dodge these groupings of projectiles a little more easily. Though wave 18 is tough just because there's the mini bosses potentially on the field, and this one is giving me a lot of grief right now. Try to kill this loot alien if we can. Got it. Our actual damage is not terrible. It's just not enough that I want to try to tangle with the elite. We maybe could have killed it, but without reliable healing, I just didn't want to try it. We'll take the banner here. Ice Cube is great. I'll take the pencil as well, and we'll recycle the lens. Nothing got cursed, so I don't think I'm going to buy any of it. Let's roll here. Grind's Magical Leaf would have been really nice earlier, because max HP would be really good, but I'll take the lantern for sure. Sadly, we don't have... It does increase our knockback, which I don't really want to increase, but pushing enemies away from us is fine. Range is not bad on torches. It's a short-range weapon that wants to hit enemies far away from you. Alien Magic, if I get it cursed, that's a lot of health, so I think I will try to buy that. And Riposte for 43 damage when we dodge just doesn't seem worth it. Let me just take this banner. I'll do one more reroll to try to lock stuff. Unfortunately, nothing good. So, just the Alien Magic. I'd like to get, if I get like a silver bullet or something, then we might be able to try to kill the bosses, which would be really good. Definitely would be important to be able to try to do that. At this point, my damage or my healing is good enough because we've got a lot of armor and a lot of lifesteal, so we can heal back up as we take hits. And we have double Cute Monkey, so we're healing quite a bit. And when we start getting in trouble, we can play around the medical turrets, so I'm relatively safe to take hits here, but even still, we have a lot of curse on the field, so that's a lot of really high damage enemies, and you can't rely on the vampire's healing, so you do have to still be careful, even when you're quite strong in the late game with this character. Pick up as many materials as I can before the end of the wave here, though we're still leaving a lot on the ground. Yep, sure, more banners, why not? We found so many banners this game. I'll take the dodge here. It just gives me a little more safety. And then Alien Magic. This is plus 6 HP for 230. I will take more dodge. Propeller Hat doesn't help us at all because we can't use consumable healing, so it doesn't actually make us more survivable. For most characters, I would take it just to increase the chance of dropping consumables, but this character doesn't get any value from that. I'll take the Alien Magic. Just 6 HP is still probably good enough. Bag and Pocket Factory don't really do anything for us. I just want defensive stats at this point. But I guess I'll take an Energy Bracelet and then roll here. The Goldfish doesn't do anything because we won't be able to afford anything that we roll off of it. Campfire is just some elemental damage. I don't care about reducing my speed, so we'll take that and then roll again and go fight the bosses. So we do have our Cursed Fire does 52 damage a second, which is not that bad. And it does spread the burning damage, because as you level torches, they get extra spread to nearby enemies. So they get inherent snake, which is really nice. So we can potentially kill the elites if I focus damage on them. I'm just very worried about my defensive stats. But with 36 dodge and 19 armor, I think we should be okay. Let's see if we can make it out of this next wave. So I'm going to try to at least hit this elite a bunch while it has the Ice Cube debuff. And then I'll try to do the same to the other one. taking a lot of hits, though, so I'm going to back away and go hang out with the medical turrets with my bros over here. Keeping the elites on fire and focusing damage on them, but I do need to remember that I don't... Normally, you can play a little more risky as they get lower, right? On most characters, but not on this character, because we don't get the full heal, or the plus 100 HP heal, after we kill the elites. These two medical turrets are just doing work. It does not look like we're going to be able to kill the bosses, so we're just going to try to survive. I was hoping maybe our damage would be high enough to kill them, but without putting myself in undue danger, I'm just going to play around my medical turrets and just tank through it, and that's why we bought all these defensive stats. And why the non-lifesteal healing is so important on this character, because I can just run around, pick up these materials and heal, run over to the medical turrets and heal again. The elites are kind of camping my turrets, though, which is annoying of them. Didn't they learn any manners playing Counter-Strike on LAN? Alright, we did it. So, I'm pretty pleased with that. The vampire with the torch was not one that I was expecting to be a smooth run, but actually it felt pretty good. Life stealing off torches, not what you think of as reliable healing, but we were able to find other sources of healing relatively early and make that work. The cute monkeys gave us 250 healing, which is ridiculous, and 360 healing from the medical turrets. So just so much healing off those non-lifesteal items. Taking a look at our other items, lumberjack shirt, nice for elemental builds. We didn't end up getting a pocket factory or a scared sausage, but we would have loved to have those items if we did. 2 coupons saved us 500. Metal detector plus 250. Landmines did not end up working out, but they weren't terrible. They did do 9,000 damage, so it's not the end of the world that we bought those, and they only cost us 30. All the coffees that we got early were great. The fishhook actually kind of went off. It cursed 3 items in that one shop. And the dangerous bunnies saved us 400 materials because one of them was cursed. The ugly tooth was pretty nice just for making things a little easier. Treasure map didn't end up working out. We didn't get that lucky on crates, and we did have very low luck, so we weren't that likely to find crates. The wisdom was, I would say, pretty good. Maybe I should have held out to get this cursed, but I don't like to just lock single items for many waves to try to fish for them with the fishhook. Pun very much intended, of course, by the developers. So I think just buying it worked out better. Anything else interesting this run? I guess we did get 3 items from the loot alien. They weren't like the most exciting items. We ended up with 3 banners as well, which is pretty cool. And the lantern did help in the late game. All right, my friends, I hope you've enjoyed this look at the vampire. This character is... I actually quite recommend the Torch Vampire run. If you're struggling with the more usual runs with this character, the Torch felt pretty smooth. Just kind of building tank items and relying on the primitive weapon tag to see you through. I don't think it's anywhere near as strong as Stick or Slingshot or, you know, the normally powerful items for this character, but the Torch felt not bad. So give it a try. All right, hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. 5 more characters until the end of this random series. Let's see if we can get there.